So I've been working on Holding Simulator for around about 6 months now. It's built on Scratch, but it has a ton of cool features like cloud saving, loading, like trophies, beads, and bracelets, and a shop. And right now I'm going to be adding an April Fool's update that's going to stay around for 5 days, starting April 1st. Now, this is my journey of making this April Fool's update. Hope you enjoy. First up, I duplicated the trophy sprite, which would be perfect for my event button or whatever. The button that will lead to the event. Then I had to make the event, the actual event button, and I made a little mustache. That kind of looks kind of cute. I filled it in with black, and then I put 01, which looks just like the eyes, so kind of like a wink, I guess. And then I just had to set up the rest of the things, like the exit, and then when you're hovering over it, and I set up some of the coordinates that it goes to, and I tested that out. After that, I put in some of the text I made in Google Slides, which then I exported, and it turned out great. It just exports as a SVG file, and I put it into Scratch, and it looks great. I colored it white. Just what can I say? It looks great. I love it. I already forgot the text font or whatever, but then I also added in the cups, upside down cups, yeah. After that, it was time to work on the actual mechanics. So I had to make a few variables. I made an event, like a main event variable, and then I started working on how the cups would work, which didn't work out at first. There's a lot of logic behind it, but this very first script really didn't work. But I also had to set up how all the sprites would work. So I would have a clone ID, and then it would go in, and if the clone ID was equal to, like, let's say exit, then it would be the exit button, which I would add a bit later. Then there would be like a clone buy the 300 one, and then that would be a clone, and when you press it, well, you get it. It would just do something. It's a clone. After that, I worked on the cups a bit more, and it kind of started working, but then it kind of just like put the cups together, and the cups would stack, and you couldn't really do anything. It didn't work out that well. And then that purple box you see, that was the bead pretty much for now. I didn't make an actual bead yet. The bead will come later, don't you worry. It'll look okay. Let's just say that. After that, it was a lot of debugging. One of the bugs was that each one of the sprites would turn to the enter button, which was a big issue. That happened because it was in a forever loop, so the original sprite was in a forever loop, which would constantly change the costume to the main enter costume. And I don't know why that happens, but it does, so I fixed that by making the exit button a clone. Since clones, when switched to a costume forever, they don't switch anything else. So that was cool. And I made the same variable like twice just thinking it would fix it, but it didn't. After that, I had a lot of debugging to do. And all of it was the cups, in fact. To the point that I had to name each cup their number, like 1, 2, 3. And then they would like move opposite ways because I would mix up the negatives and positives, which, yeah, I shouldn't be able to do that. And then I tried to log it using the debugger and the Scratch add-ons, and that still didn't help. I logged its ID and then where it was at, and that still didn't work. So I ended up just having to add, like, if this position or this X is equal to 150, then it would be position number 1, and so that's how I would determine the position. Now, I also had a smooth glide, but I ended up not using that at the end. So, yeah. Remember when I was telling you I would make the bead? Well, now it's that time. So I made the bead, I just copied and pasted the mustache, then I made a kind of a jelly bean shape because, well, a bead, jelly bean, yeah, funny, right? No, it's not funny. Anyways, I added the eyes and it looked fine. Alright, now I can show you how I decided to make the cups. So the cups will only switch with its neighbors, which I labeled 2 and 3. So when it says 2, that means 1 and 2 cups will switch places. To figure that out, I subtract 1 from the 2, which would equal 1. That means that cup would have to go to the right. And then if the number it's switching with is equal to the cup's number, then I switch that cup to the left. And I do the same with the number 3. That means both of the neighbors will always switch at the same exact time. And I made this up myself. I didn't look anything up. And yes, I spent like half an hour on this. But I think it's a pretty good method, even though I messed it up many times. After that, it was a lot of refining, like timings and such like that, and it actually started to work quite well. After that, I started finishing up everything pretty much. So I added all like the, oh wow, you got it right, or better try next time, or better luck next time pretty much. And so I finished everything up, it said everything, and then you can now actually get the bead. It's a bead that gives you times 5 time, like, it'll just give you times 5 time. Right? Obvious, right? Yeah, so now you can also select the cup, and then I fixed a few things up with the buttons, and then made it so that everyone can access this on April 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. So that's tomorrow. Or pretty much April 1st. I'm recording this on... what is the month? Ah yes, it's March 31st. I definitely didn't look at that. Okay, anyways, it looks quite well now. And it works really well. I removed all the numbers and now it works. Now I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I hope you understood a lot of stuff like, yes, this is how I explain. I can't even explain, like, what it is. But anyways, this is a really cool April Fool's update. It's kind of April Fool's because it's kind of fooling you where the cup is. Like, I messed up twice in this end video. And yes, it's kind of hard because it kind of messes you up. Now, if you want to play this, the link is in the description. If you have a Scratch account at the Scratcher rank, you can actually use my server, which I have on practically forever. So please use it. Like, it's on for no reason, and I haven't figured out how to use Replit yet. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.